Welcome to another episode of the Dolphin Chronicles. If you haven't already, hit that like, smash that subscribe, make sure your notifications are on so that you know when the show comes on. Uh, Down a guy today. Johnny's on the injured list. He will be back next week, but I'm
That's
here
what
with my
happens. That's what happens when you get a little older, man. It starts catching up with you and shit. You just gotta, you got a torn, pulled a hammy. He's probably got, a groin injury.
I
It's
think the
okay.
injury description is rest old.
Rest or load management. We're doing a little load
Load management
management
old.
for Johnny
Yes.
today. Yeah.
I'm here with my boy Alex. Where can they find you on X or Twitter?
Right there, guys. Texas or TX rather underscore TSB. Guys, I rant on Twitter about a lot of stuff. Some stuff I might be spot on. Sometimes you might disagree with me, and that's okay, right? We can have an adult conversation. That's fine. But I am pretty active on the X, so find me on there. One of these days, I'll get Elon Musk to give me a nice big gold, yellow check mark or something. But until then, you'll just have to deal with it.
Yeah, so there's a few things that we want to talk about today. We'll get into some Dolphin topics, but something that I wanted to start the show with, um, a graphic that I saw on Twitter, and
Of course. Where else?
The Dolphins are on this graphic. I want to know if you agreed or disagreed with some of the way the graphic is organized. I guess the graphic is the top 50 most miserable franchises in sports.
The franchises or fan bases? I thought it was fan bases.
Fan bases. I'm sorry, fan bases in sport. Although
Oh.
although they could be the same thing, to be honest.
No, because we got really high marks as far as like an organization, even within the organization. But anyways, that's another topic for another day.
Right, but
Our
yes.
fan base is fucking toxic. But go
So
ahead, hit us with it. What's the graphic?
the good news is this, and this is great news. I mean, I couldn't be any happier when I saw the number one most miserable franchise in all of sports, and that would be the New York Jets, because they Jets suck. Tell me why you think they deserve or don't deserve to be the most miserable franchise fan base in sports.
Oh man, I mean, where do I start? Hey, they had a couple good years, in recent memory, with Mark Sanchez, and they
Was
made a
that the
couple of
Dolphins you're talking about?
AFC Championship games, but they made it to the AFC Championship games. But yeah, the butt fumble.
Before or after the hot dog?
Say what now?
Before or after the hot dog incident?
Oh crap, I don't know. That's good. I'm gonna have to defer. Where's our statistician? Don't we have like a statistician that can
You
look
know,
that shit up?
you remember the hot
Um,
dog incident or no?
I don't. I'm gonna need a refresher.
So Mark Sanchez apparently either hadn't had lunch or puked up lunch before the game or whatever. But the point is, the Jets are fucking sucking, and sorry, R-rated language, but the Jets are sucking.
Sorry for cussing. That's
The Jets are
shout out to
sucking,
my boy.
and he's hungry. So what do they bring him? A hot dog. And this man is on the bench trying to sneak a hot dog. And his
Oh, I think I have seen a picture of this. Okay.
yes, Mark
Hey,
Sanchez with a hot dog.
nothing wrong with scarfing down one of those dollar hot dogs, bro. We've all been there. I do it all the time at the ballpark. When I'm not at the ballpark, I'm not a picky eater at all. So I can't. I'm not gonna hold that against. I'm not gonna hold that against him. But yes, as far as miserable fan bases, bro, you gotta feel sorry for him. You really do. I mean, I even have a friend at work that went to the opener last season, where Aaron Rodgers took
Aaron
like,
Rodgers.
yeah, to bless his heart, man. He was there. He's all hyped up. You can't help but think about Greeny, the ESPN personality, who's a big Jets fan. I love the guy. I love his commentary. I mean, I love who he is and what he does. But poor guy, man. He's been through the ringer. So yeah, man. That's
Listen,
I gotta
I'll
I
be
gotta
honest.
agree with that.
I don't feel bad for a single second, because you know what? If you're a fan of that miserable franchise and you're part of that miserable fan base, that's an error on your judgment, and it speaks volumes to who you are as a person.
Hey, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you're like from there, and you might happen to be a nice person, and you just cheer for the Jets. It's unfortunate, right? I'm not a but yeah, man, Namath, and his shenanigans in the sidelines with the reporters and everything in his old age, him being a pervert. I mean, that's their boy right there, Broadway Joe.
Mormon Mahomes. I
But
mean,
most
yeah, Mahomes.
what's that?
Mormon Mahomes.
Yeah, that guy.
The wolf
So
hunter.
man, I'm gonna have to agree. I can't disagree with the Jets, man. There's a couple New York franchises up there in the top 10. And professional, collegiate, you name it, they're up there.
I mean,
Uh, so just being from New York, I think you just already like uh like in a negative. You're seen in a negative space.
and okay,
Uh,
and you're right, and we'll get there right now. So the second most miserable franchise is the Cleveland Browns. Well,
fucking
fan
the,
base. I'm sorry, I keep
the,
saying franchise, but it's fan base.
the fucking
The
dog pound.
Browns deserve
Yeah,
to be number two.
bro. I mean, just how many collapses have they had? How many quarterbacks' careers have they ended before they even started? So you got to start with that. I mean, their collapse. Their opportunities that they had back in the day when they were good against the Denver Broncos in these postseason matchups, and they just weren't able to pull through. Another fan base that I kind of feel sorry for, but I kind of don't. But yeah, man, Cleveland's up there too. Johnny Football, right?
Great
What else?
documentary. Great
You know,
documentary.
yeah, phenomenal documentary. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. Yeah, man, but just think of how many quarterbacks. I mean, the list is like endless. How many quarterbacks have been drafted or started there with Cleveland, and then just
And
as
they
soon as
clicked on the most recent good one they had in Baker.
yeah, and even Baker, right? Baker, there was a lot of questions surrounding him and his ability, because of course he started there with Cleveland, and now he's doing big things and playing like we know Baker Mayfield can, but it's just like it can't happen. It's physically is impossible to happen in Cleveland. Look at Deshaun Watson. What's turned into what is Deshaun Watson turned into? Is he gonna be the Deshaun Watson that we saw? With the Texans, absolutely not. I don't think he's there. I don't think we'll see that again, which is unfortunate because he was something special to watch. Um,
But
but man,
that team just reloaded. I mean, they went from Deshaun Watson, had a few lean years, and then boom, hit on C.J. Stroud.
oh yeah, but we're not talking about the Texans. We're talking about the freaking Browns. The only good thing the Browns have for him now is David Njoku, maybe. Um, that Chubb injury was brutal. Right? So, yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. I can't disagree with them at number two either.
So 3 and 4, the Rockies and Razorbacks, Arkansas. I mean,
I could,
whatever.
the Rockies are the Rockies. I mean, didn't they have a couple World Series appearances or maybe even a World
Right.
Series
I mean,
win or something? I wouldn't put them that high up there. I'd probably bring them down a notch. I mean, the Rockies, considering the newness of that franchise, they've already had some success and tasted a little bit of success and had some great ball players, man. Larry Walker, Dante Bichette, Andres Galarraga, those guys. They've had some studs over there in Colorado, and that's a fucking badass place and ballpark to go watch a baseball game, dude. So, um, you know, I don't know that I'd put them up there that high. They've already
I
smelled and
agree.
tasted a
I
little
would
bit
have
of
put them there.
success. So,
Then you have notable at 5 is the Mets, the other New
yeah,
York fan base you were talking about.
oof,
At 7, you have the Dallas Cowboys, where
yeah,
you are at the moment. Every year
yeah,
they win the Super Bowl in the preseason, and
every
every
year.
year they don't.
Yeah, they
Actually,
win it. They win it in the draft. They win it in the preseason, bro. It's every year. It's their year. I just don't know that they deserve to be called America's team anymore. But I've been saying that for the past like fucking decade. But
decade
hey,
since they played the 49ers.
yeah, bro. I mean, it's America's team. I don't know why they keep calling them America's team. It is a low. They do have a lot of money, but it hasn't translated into anything, any memorable or meaningful wins. So, I would put the freaking Cowboys even ahead of the Rockies.
I agree.
I would put them at least up there at number 3 or 4, top five for sure. What are they? What are the
Seven.
Cowboys at?
Seven.
7? Yeah, no, fuck. They gotta crack the top five for me.
And at number 8, we have an institution that's near and dear to our hearts,
Mm.
and that's the University of Miami. Do you think they deserve to be as high as 8?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Yes, there's a lot of high expectations when you talk about the University of Miami, right? That was one of the most feared college programs in the '90s, bro. I mean, we were so dominant. I still think we put together probably the best collegiate football team ever to grace a gridiron. With that team that was loaded with NFL talent up and down, bro. There were guys that were fourth string that are fucking studs in the NFL. Okay,
First,
so
what stringer? Yes.
yeah, so I don't know,
Nice
man. I,
position.
I think it's mostly because of the fallout in just the past, like, I don't know, 10 years maybe, for the U. But I think they're on their way back. I mean, they're not losing many recruiting battles anymore in state. I mean, I think we're headed in the right direction. I think we got a good quarterback in place now. We got a good coaching staff. I think we got a good OC. We just extended our DC, didn't we? If I'm
Yes.
not mistaken. So yeah, I think we got a good coaching staff, and we can build around what we have right now. Yes, there's been some questionable decision making by the coaches and some execution that has cost us games. Late against conference opponents. And we had some really really terrible quarterback play recently, man. And I just didn't know what the hell happened to freaking TVD. He was stellar, and then he just freaking fell off the freaking face of the earth. I don't know what happened to TVD. His motion, his mechanics were fucked up. But I don't think it's warranted for the U to be all the way up there, bro. Come on.
So we have other notables are the Gators at 11. You have Kentucky at 19, which I don't understand because their basketball team has won championships recently.
Yeah, their
The
baseball team is out. Their baseball team is in the ship now, aren't they?
did they make the College World Series?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so there you go. That's
I don't think anyone from the SEC for any sport. I mean, just think of the SEC and its dominance in football recently, and
well.
baseball too.
Wait. Texas A&M.
Yeah, but Texas A&M is a recent SEC team,
Okay,
right?
another one. Texas
Texas, I can't. Where are they at?
22.
No, I don't think they. I mean, come on. Texas has seen success in basketball. They've seen success in football. I don't know. When was their last national title?
Vince Young.
Vince Young. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. We can still remember Vince Young and what he did against, well, the Trojans. That's right. The Rose Bowl win? That was the national title.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, man, what he did against Matt Leinart, fucking Lendale White, Reggie Bush, and all those guys in
Then you
Pasadena.
have
It was fucking
the White
amazing. He had
Sox.
like 200 yards rushing or some crazy shit like that for Vince Young.
No, he was a
Uh,
complete stud.
that the guy was an
And they
animal,
got
bro.
back. I think they got back the year before with Colt McCoy as well.
Oh, maybe. So I don't see why Texas is even up there, man. They've seen recent success in baseball, basketball, and basketball maybe is where they've kind of plateaued a little bit, since what's his face, Rick, what was their head coach?
Barnes.
Barnes. Since Barnes left, I don't. They had some success with that interim guy that took over for shit for brains, Chris Beard. Um, After what he did with, I guess, beat the piss out of his wife. I don't know what he did. He had some sort of yeah, yeah. You won't hear from that
Here's
guy
a
again.
few teams that I don't understand. The Utah Utes, the Cal Bears, Penn State, West Virginia, Indy. Like I feel like those teams just like Notre Dame. Notre Dame is ranked third every year for no reason. Why
For
are
no
you
apparent reason. Yeah.
You have
But it
okay.
hasn't really translated into much. They haven't competed outside of, a few wins here and there. I mean, the Mountaineers, I can see the Mountaineers. I can't see Penn State. I think Penn State's always in contention or has been in contention since Franklin's been coaching out there. Yes, they haven't been able to beat, Michigan or have those bigger wins. So maybe there's a little misery there when it comes to, beating the top contenders in your conference. But I mean, they've had winning seasons. I mean, consecutively, I wouldn't see, aside from, the whole Joe Pa scandal and all that shit that went down, that was pretty miserable. Yeah, Sandusky. Yeah, you're right, Jerry Sandusky. But outside of that, man, I mean, I think Penn State has done good, at least, for football.
Another team I don't agree with, Kansas.
Kansas, I mean, their program,
Yes,
their football program's on the up and up.
and their
Their
basketball
their
program
basketball
was
team has always
trash
been in contention. Yeah.
2 years ago. This one
So
I agree with, Georgetown.
the
Ooh,
Hoyas, yeah, the Hoyas haven't been shit since fucking, I don't know, Patrick Ewing and Allen Iverson on their team.
Allen Iverson,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
Alonzo
yeah.
Mourning,
Alonzo Mourning, big Alonzo, man. I love Alonzo Mourning, bro.
and then at 37,
Our boys.
the reason why we brought this list up,
It
the
only took us
Miami
it,
Dolphins.
it took us for fucking ever to finally get to the 37th.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, the Miami Dolphins. You know what? I'd probably put them higher.
I,
There's there's some teams that are ranked higher that shouldn't be that I could
I
easily
agree.
replace the Dolphins with. Can you pull up
Now,
the graphic again? Pull it
yes,
up.
I have it. Who are you looking for?
Just pull up the graphic. See who
Oh, I
who
don't have
could.
it pull up here.
All right, so let's see. Hold on a second. Let me find it real quick, and then
So
I'll tell you who we
I'm gonna
can.
give you a franchise, a fan base that's not on here that deserves to be top five.
Oh my God, and they missed them all together.
Yes, and we refuse to give this fan base attention or franchise. How are the Miami Marlins not on this list?
Oh,
You want to
well,
talk
because
about
again,
miserable
although the
base?
disaster that's happened in the front office and those abysmal trades that we've made recently, particularly the ones that I just shared with you guys, that Christian Yelich trade, where none of those motherfuckers are even worth a shit. They're not even in the league
Or
anymore.
Stanton
Or yeah, Stanton.
or
Um,
Cabrera
yeah, I mean, I think the
or
Marlins,
Realmuto?
right.
You
I
want me to keep
don't even know.
going?
Yeah, you can, sure. Why not? We got time.
Gallon.
Yeah, yeah, Gallon. Yeah.
We ended up with Jazz in that one, but I tell you
Okay,
what,
so
I have Zach.
that's where you start to think about, and maybe we can reach out to Big Game Boomer and get some insight as to how he ranked these franchises and what kind of metrics he used or what did he base it off of, right? Because you could also argue that the Marlins have had some recent success and they've won some World Series titles and they're a pretty new franchise, right? Still a young franchise if you ask me, right?
I mean,
Um,
but the misery. I mean,
I mean,
do
I
those
guess he could.
World
Where would
Series
you where
race
would you
ever
put him? Where
in
would
the
you put
base?
Where would you put the Marlins? And
Probably, probably somewhere between 10 and 15.
really, I mean, the Lions have had recent success too, but the Lions have dealt with a lot of shit for a lot of years.
But so you can say the same thing for the Dolphins. Aside from recent success, this team has been a
I could realistically say the Dolphins could replace maybe the Kansas City Royals there at 35. The Royals have won a World Series title recently, pretty recently.
yeah.
Um,
Probably you can probably
or even the Reds. The Reds haven't been shit since the Big Red Machine. You're right.
Notre Dame.
Uh, or Notre Dame that high, huh? Notre Dame at 28, maybe. The Tigers have also been to a World Series pretty recently, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like all these teams have had pretty, and
Yeah,
I don't understand why DePaul is there.
yeah. That's what that 46 was. I was like
Who's
DePaul,
DePaul? When DePaul
Don't
was
they're pretty regular. They pretty regularly make the dance, don't they? DePaul.
yes, but are they have they won championships to say that they deserve to be miserable? No.
And I don't know if the fucking Spartans should be there, but then again, are we talking about college basketball? Are we talking about college football? That's something maybe we can reach out to Big Game Boomer over there.
Okay, so why is the
Uh,
Seattle Kraken on here? They're like 2 years old.
yeah, and they made the fucking Stanley Cup Finals, or not the Stanley Cup Finals.
the playoffs on their first year.
Yeah, I don't know why the Kraken are in there. The Red Wings, they've had a lot of success. Not recent, but I can see why they're on there. They've been pretty non-existent the past, I don't know,
The
seven,
one
eight
the one
years.
team I agree with here is the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
The
Ever since they got
Cornhuskers.
beat down by UM,
Yeah.
I'd be miserable from that beat down too.
Right, from what Eric Crouch, when we beat the shit out of that team that thought that they were really, really good, and Eric Crouch, we never heard from that motherfucker again. He was
Drafted as a
uh,
receiver
as a receiver, yes,
and then
yes,
turned to corner, I believe,
with the
or
Rams.
safety.
I think the Rams drafted him or something, if I'm not
At
mistaken.
safety though, he played safety for them. But whatever.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
lose my mind too if I got beat by that team.
hey, you know what would have been ironic if the Dolphins were number 24 on that list?
Why?
Why? Because 24 years since we tasted any sort of a postseason victory or success, right? You
Like
seen that Mike McDaniel, how he fucking has his meetings like at like 7:24 or 24 after the hour or stupid shit like that. Have you seen that?
no.
Yeah, let's see. Let's hold on.
So okay, yeah. I don't understand this graphic. Um,
Yeah, there's a lot.
the
There's
next
a lot to question there.
yeah. So the next big thing was I think let me just so I can credit at King of Finland with a PH for Finns put up
Yeah,
a
yeah.
picture
There's a
of
good follow. Good follow in the Dolphins Twitter community, by the way. That guy's
yes,
legit.
he put up a picture of Johnu Smith with the Dolphins offense.
Towering over some of those motherfuckers. Did you see that?
Good lord! I mean, we obsessed over what's this the second round pick, um, Paul
Oh, Patrick Paul.
Patrick Paul,
Yeah,
but
well, that guy's a mountain. Yeah,
Johnu Smith is doing that to the entire offense.
yeah, but that's also Braxton Berrios to his fucking left. Braxton Berrios is about my height, so that's not saying much.
And I
Uh,
mean, was to his right.
yeah, but is that Macy's Tua or is that Tua before the Macy's photo shoot or whatever the fuck he did with
The
Macy's?
point is, we finally have a tight end that is big enough to be able to block, but athletic enough to be able to do things after the catch.
Yeah, yeah. Remember, two white guys to his left, and then new slimmer Tua to his right. Okay.
Wait to completely discredit the photo. Completely discredit the photo.
But I
Uh,
see where you're headed. Yes, I like Johnu Smith. I loved that acquisition. I've been saying that with Johnny on the Let's Talk Sports Network before we even came on Kendall Sports Network and the Dolphins Chronicles. Yes, I love Johnu Smith, man. We can't overlook what that guy can do after the catch. Big target. Not that Durham Smythe wasn't successful whenever we threw him the damn ball. I think Durham Smythe was great whenever we target him. But man, just another weapon to have, bro. Whether it be in the red zone, whether it be while we're midfield in those kind of third and long situations, right? Instead of going to Braxton Berrios on a third and 11, we got fucking Johnny Smith who can kind of come through on a third and 11 or third and 8, third and 9, whatever, third and long. So I like it. I like Johnu, and I like that he's towering over River Craycraft and Braxton Berrios. He's supposed to. The guy's big,
no,
so that's good.
humongous.
And I hope Tua can find his ass, and I'm sure he will. A lot of the critique of Tua is moving on from that first read, right? I think a guy like Johnu Smith and his versatility and his experience and he's in his ability is going to help Tua be able to make that second or third read and go to his safety blanket, right? Not that he didn't trust Durham Smythe, but I think Johnu Smith is an easier target, a better target, and a more reliable target.
So speaking of Tua, um, Emmanuel Acho, I think was is it Emmanuel
I like,
Acho?
yeah, I forget how you pronounce it, but yeah, it's him. I like him, man. He's great.
So he said that Tua deserves to reset the quarterback market. Where do you stand on him resetting the market?
I mean, deserve is a strong word. Um, Resetting the market is also a very strong word. But let's be honest, that happens every time there's a big contract that's signed, right? You kind of reset the market. Fucking Justin Jefferson, right? AJ Brown, those are market resetter guys. Remember when Jalen Hurts got that fucking huge contract? But they all reset the market, right? So does he deserve it? I think so. I think he does. Is there an
You
alternative? There's
wrong
not.
word.
So that makes him deserve it more because there's not really a fucking alternative. Um, he's answered. He's answered the bell when he's needed to answer the bell, with the exception of the big playoff win. And you can't put the big playoff loss on solely Tua. You can't. You can't put that fucking loss at KC just on Tua. Can't do it. We were at 10-7. It was a 10-7 game after he found Tyreek for the long touchdown. You know, you have a healthy team competing at the end of the season. We're not signing motherfuckers off the streets like a Justin Houston and Bruce Irvin. We're probably able to compete a little bit more, even maybe contend and beat Buffalo for the AFC East crown.
You mean a
Um,
Justin Houston who went to celebrate with the Chiefs after losing?
yeah, I'm assuming that's that same guy. Yeah. Um, hey, whatever, bro. He played for the Chiefs. Good for you. Fuck it. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
That left a.
Uh,
So you spoke while speaking about too about resetting the market, and then you mentioned a bunch of receivers. We'll
not a
transition.
bunch.
You said Jefferson. You
Oh
said
well, yeah, yeah. AJ Brown, yeah, those guys,
right.
yeah,
You mentioned a bunch of receivers. The big one was, as you said, Justin Jefferson getting that money from the Vikings.
yeah. Can't knock it. The
Then
guy's a game
Jalen
changer.
Waddle was a few days before
Before
Jefferson.
JJ, yeah, thank God.
Right. Tyreke Hill got asked about the contract situation,
I saw
and
it.
his words were,
By Omar Kelly, the guy, the
"Listen,
polar.
I love Omar Kelly. I think
Uh,
Omar Kelly is,
I think he can be a little bit of a freaking douchebag too, but yeah, I guess that's his
you know
job.
what?
It's just it's part of his job to kind of ruffle some feathers.
Understand
He
that,
does a good job of ruffling some feathers. I mean, I follow him. I listen to him. I give him credit where credit is due. I give him his respect. He's been doing it for a long, long fucking time. A lot longer than maybe we've even been fan of the Dolphins. No, not me because I'm 40 and I've been a fan of the Dolphins for a long time.
yeah.
Uh, so I'm gonna correct myself. But okay, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
Well, hold on. I'm a product of how Omar Kelly sees things.
Mm,
Everything to me he says makes sense, and I
for the
think
most
he's a
part,
douchebag when people try to play gotcha and disrespect him on Twitter.
yeah. I've never
So
done that.
no, no, no. By the way,
You
you
can look at
talk,
my tweets and my history. I've never done that.
but yeah, I think that Tyreek Hill said, and I quote, "Being greedy ain't gonna help the team."
Yeah, that was the famous last line before that clip cut out. Yeah, being greedy ain't
So
gonna help the team.
I'm glad,
He's gonna let his agent do his job. That's what he said.
and I feel that at the moment it's the right mentality.
Oh, for sure. Because you don't want to you don't want to add that distraction at the beginning of the season when you know that your team is trying to build something and it's either a Super Bowl or a bust. I think this next season for the Dolphins. I think we've touched on that briefly, maybe a couple times in passing. We haven't really dove into it, but I do think it's Super Bowl or bust for this team next year because I'm not happy if we just win the AFC East. I'm not. I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I thought we should have won the AFC East last year. So I'm already seeing last year not winning the AFC East as a failure. Yeah, we made the playoffs, but we fucking limped into the playoffs, and we should have been when we should have been competing for a number one seed. Is what we should have been doing. But we fucking fell off the wagon there towards the end. But yeah, I think this season is Super Bowl or bust, and I think what Tyreek did there was commendable. He's taking the attention away from him and putting it back on the team, which I love. He says he loves being here. He loves being back in Miami. He made fun about getting torched by kids all over the world and in
I
camps or
know.
whatever.
I'm just glad
Uh,
that he has enough ankles to be able to leave all of the ones he's left on the field
uh-huh.
in different spots and still be able
Yeah,
to play football. So
yeah.
good supply of ankles because
Yeah. So I'm happy, man. I think it'll get done. He's probably still got some decisions to make, right? So there's still this season, and what happens at the outcome of this season for him to determine whether he even wants to play anymore, right? There was thought that after the 2025 season he was going to be donezo. So we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I think a lot of it has to do with how this year goes. I mean, because what more does that guy have to prove? You know, let's say he wins a Super Bowl with the Dolphins, he could fucking ride off into the sunset on a fucking caballito and be like, I'm done. You know?
And he would be a hero here forever.
Yeah, yeah. Why would he? I wouldn't even come back if I won a fucking ship in Miami and I won one in KC and I was the fucking baddest, meanest, and most feared fucking receiver on the field when I go out there because he is. Outside him and Justin Jefferson up there, bro. I wouldn't want to be. I don't care how fucking good I am. I wouldn't be one. I wouldn't want to match up 1-on-1 against Tyreek Hill.
I I agree,
So
but
if he wins a championship with Miami, what's he got to prove? He might hang it up after the 2025 season.
so one of those players who is has to be great and is going to be a big part if we do win a Super Bowl. Had
Hmm.
another player had some comments. Oh, great, DJ Khaled performing at outside of the Panthers arena.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, and Mike McDaniel was banging the drum game one, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Jaylen Ramsey. He said that he's ready to go back to do everything he does in order to make the team win. The things he's done every year except for last year,
Hmm.
where he says he followed every other year of his career the best receiver around, except for last year, where he
Yeah,
stayed in on one side. He said
yeah,
he's ready to get back to winning ways.
yeah.
Subtle jab at Vic Fangio.
Not so subtle because he said it before. He said it in the locker room before. I'm sure there's a fucking clip out there. Because that kept happening, right? We kept having these matchups against these big name receivers, and
Tyre-
then
Uh,
our guys
Fangio,
Omar and fucking Cameron Wolf and all those other guys, Travis Wingfield, all those guys that ask the questions that we want to know the answers to. He said that before, so it's not so subtle. We know that Vic Fangio was handcuffing this guy, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because a guy of his talent, a guy of his caliber, a guy of his skill set, you know what kind of a playmaker he is, and what kind of a game changer he is on defense, and how educated he is, because he's not just a ball hawk, and he's smart. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. He's been at the top of his game since he entered this league. I didn't like him because he came out of FSU, right? I'm a fucking we're big UM fans, so FSU wasn't. I was like, forget FSU. I hate FSU. But no, man, it's not so subtle, and it just reminds you of how frustrating the Vic Fangio situation was. Although I'll be the first to tell you, I was really happy when we brought him in. But after you start digging and after you start finding out all the other stuff and how it evolved and how shit happened throughout the course of the year and how stubborn he was and how the players really didn't like kind of the vibe that he was giving off and
you can
you
say it.
know
The players despised him.
yeah, they didn't like him. They didn't like him, man, and that can't be good. That can't be good for a defense that's trying to be an elite defense and has the personnel to do it, and you got a stubborn old fuck who doesn't even want to fucking be here. Sorry for cussing. Um,
It's okay. We got an R rating.
yeah, yeah. So we'll just beep it out later. Oh no, it's live. We can't beep it out. Um, and then so I mean, kudos to him, man, for speaking on it, right? But we all knew that. People who were paying attention, we all knew that he was handcuffed and he's ready. He's ready to get unleashed. This year, man, it's he's not coming off an injury anymore. He's probably the healthiest he's been in a while. So and you got some new pieces back there, some veteran faces like a Jordan Poyer. You got Javon Holland who continues to grow. You got all those guys in the secondary. You got a
Switch
you
to
got
safety.
a you got another veteran face that we picked up from Washington and Kendall Fuller. Those guys in the secondary. We X has been, that off season with what's happened. I mean, he's a nightmare, bro. I don't even want that guy close to the organization anymore. Uh, but I'm glad we moved on from him. We talked about it too. I was happy when we moved on from this guy because his availability was becoming an issue. And he was still gonna require some money and I'm glad that we just kind of parted ways. I think our secondary has gotten a ton better, and I'm excited to for what's to come, and for Jaylen Ramsey to be able to shadow the best guy out there, and let an Anthony Weaver and our coaching staff let him do what he does best.
So, last thing I want to touch on. The schedule finally came out for when we will have football once again. Thursday, August 1st is the Hall of Fame game. That leaves us a cool 6-pack of shows to do from here till then. Um, our plan is, like I said, to bring on guests from around the country to speak on
Hmm.
fandom, bring a few Miami guests,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Another shout out to Paul Lopez for coming on short notice last week.
giving us a
Paul is
Texas Dolphin fan perspective.
Yeah, yeah, man. Good dude, man. Dedicated Fins fan, bro. He really, really is. He's hardcore.
Therapist for Alex.
Yeah, yeah. Been a therapist quite a few times. Yeah.
Who said he wants
Most recently when we drafted Cam Smith. Um, and I hope Cam is gonna come into his own. Another guy in our secondary who's got some potential, all the potential in the world. Let's just see if he can make it happen and produce on the field when it matters most.
Yeah. I was going to speak on uh, possibly getting to the guys together and doing a live stream show from a preseason game. We'll see if we can get that together. Uh,
No, that would be really cool, man.
from the
That'd be really fun. Yeah, a lot of opportunities on that schedule for us to meet up, whether it be in beautiful Miami Gardens or whether it be in an away game, just wreaking havoc with the opposing fan base. Not something that we're really good at. I'm not one of those obnoxious fans. I'm not gonna. I mean, I might paint my face. I've done that before. But I'm not gonna go in there and like get super drunk and in your face and say "Go Dolphins." It's just not
well,
me.
depending
Um,
on the situation, we might do a live stream from a game.
But that would be really cool, man. I know Dolphins fans travel well. We love to get out there and experience. So if you're interested in doing something like that, and you travel to games and you make it a point to travel to a bunch of away games, hit us up. Send us a message on Twitter. Find us on YouTube. Comment on the show. Whatever it is, man, we'll make it happen. We're all about the fans. We're all about you guys. We're all about the listeners. We love to talk fins. We love to dig deep. And believe it or not, sometimes we may have some insider access. But but yeah, man, we're excited. We're excited about the upcoming season, and hopefully we can do something like that, Byron. That'd be fun.
Yes,
Also, coming up, we do have some crazy giveaways, man.
yes,
I got some fun stuff that we're gonna get from Fanatics, because we don't do anything else other than with Fanatics. We love Fanatics. I got a Frank Gore autographed jersey, authenticated, that I'm willing to raffle off, and hopefully we can raise money for a local charity or anything like that. Me and Byron are going to talk about that, and we'll put the masterminds together. But yeah, a lot of exciting stuff coming up before the season, and then during the season, of course, we'll be locked and loaded.
yes, sir. So join us next week, 7:30. Big news. Dropping
7:30 Eastern time, 6:30 for
7:30.
the boys, for people.
Tune in to our
Yeah.
social media for some big news coming up tomorrow. An exciting announcement. For Alex, where can they find you again, bud?
Hey, TX_TSB on X, and a big shout out to our boy Mark Gonzalez. Man, great job landing on a fabulous soccer podcast. That guy is amazing. So kudos to him. Hope you're listening, man. And I wishing you continued success. He's gonna leave us for freaking Bristol, Connecticut soon. I can just feel it. But
Yes.
big shout out to you, man. Keep doing big things, brother. We love you.
Let's hope he sticks with us for a little bit before he goes and
Yeah,
takes that.
it's a little bit. Yeah, put
Um,
us on the map, Mark, will you? Yeah.
so for everyone here at the Dolphin Chronicles, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great one,
Yes,
guys.
let's go. Go, go.